Okay. All right. Some of you had an opportunity to stop by the resource table in the back of our room, and you see the nice sign I put together, OSHA Champion Resources, because one goal that I have for all of us today is not only ensuring that you leave class today understanding OSHA and all of the complex regulations, but that you're successful at building your safety program within your individual organizations. And that takes a lot of effort. Beyond today's workshop, I have hand-selected resources from Skill Path and national seminars that I personally endorse as a sure bet way of building a successful program. Not only building the program, but also to ensure that you have the knowledge and skill sets to carry out that important role that you have. Now, let me share with you a few of the resources. One in particular is the OSHA Answer Book, and this was recommended when you registered for today's workshop. And the OSHA Answer Book is focused on general industry. Now, some of you are in medical, agriculture, construction. I think I have one person in maritime. And some of you said, gee, I'm in construction or I'm in healthcare. Am I really in the right class? Today's class is on general industry. And as we know, what's the number for general industry? Bob? Correct, 1910. So regardless of your individual industry, all of us need to understand and comply with those regulations that fall under 1910, general industry. And as we learned, you only have to have one employee to fall under OSHA as a private employer. Now, the answer book provides a very simple answer to just about every question regarding every regulation beyond our discussion today. Now, how could I possibly use this book? First of all, for my own knowledge and education, but secondly, I provide a copy of this to every new hire that attends the orientation program. When I was director of training at MedLife, we provided this as a copy, and we bought this through national seminars. Why? Because it answers just about any question that a typical employee may have, and a typical safety champion like yourself. For example, how do I identify hazardous chemicals? What labels and other forms of warning are necessary for each chemical? Okay? An example, interestingly enough, how does OSHA respond to hurricanes? How did they respond to Hurricane Katrina? Let me find another one that I have marked. Okay? Fire protection. As we know, having a clear emergency action plan and fire plan is part of general industry, 1910. So we have answers to those important questions. Okay? Highly recommended. Now, in addition, some of you know that those safety meetings can become rather complacent. And Mira, you had mentioned this morning that, some of the folks on my safety committee aren't showing up because they said it's the same old boring discussions. We don't have many hazards. Why do I have to be there? Okay? So spice up those meetings with an on-demand seminar. Now, in terms of topics, National Seminars and Skill Path has a plethora, meaning a lot of on-demand seminars that allow you to bring that workshop into your organization and to show it any time. That's why it's on demand. One that I recommend is how to become a better communicator. Okay? Everyone in an organization can always become better at communication. However, as a manager, as a safety champion, okay, as a member of the safety committee, I need to be even better at communicating, because oftentimes I don't want to come down on every employee. I want to have an adult, on the level discussion about things such as, John, you're not wearing your hard hat, or John, you're not in compliance with the bloodborne pathogen. I don't want to be looked at as not only the safety champion, but also I don't want them to look at me as a police officer. Okay? So how do I become a better communicator? And let me read some of the topics. How to create rapport, build trust, and establish your credibility. That's essential for a safety champion. How to communicate with difficult people within many of those tough situations. How do I make my first impression unforgettable in a good way. Okay? How about business etiquette? Okay? How do I regain professional polish that shows in some of those key meetings? One recommendation we talked about is get a seat at your senior management meeting. You do not have to be a senior manager to have a voice at the table when it comes to safety. Okay? You can be invited to a meeting and not really have an invitation to be there. And we talked about what that looks like. So I could be essentially at the seat, at the table, but everyone seems to be talking over me. And I'm trying to bring up a new law relative to safety, like HASCOM. How do I engage with those senior managers if inside I really don't feel a high level of confidence? Okay? You be the first one to take a look at it and make this part of your safety meeting. What I recommend doing is having what we call a brown bag lunch, or come for free hot fudge sundaes, and improve your skills as a communicator. Get those employees involved. That's an on-demand seminar. Now, we talked about all of the important labor laws. Sometimes we call those employment laws. OSHA recommends that you have a clear safety mission. Okay? So you can think of a binder, think about a plaque on the wall. In addition, it helps if you have a clear disciplinary policy supporting your safety program. Okay? So let's take a look at these important topics. Now, this is a 3-for-1. The organization is NOLA, NOLA.com, and we distribute these, but they're published by NOLA. Now, you'll also notice some of these come with a DVD or a CD. So you not only get the book, but you can also, since you purchase the books, you can log on to NOLO, NOLO.com, indicate that you purchased the book, and you have a ton of online tools. For example, our first book deals with performance appraisals. Okay? When we talked earlier about how do I engage managers, how do I engage employees in safety, okay, without being looked at as the police officer within the organization, we had recommended thinking about the performance appraisal. Is there a section on your employee performance appraisals and the appraisals for managers that are actually rating them on their safety practices? Okay? The performance appraisal handbook. Now, how about dealing with the challenging employee, the problem employee? Okay? And again, this is not only for you as the safety manager, but I recommend having a workshop with managers on how to deal with that challenging employee, okay? Especially when it comes to safety, because you can ignore a problem employee's behaviors or actions, but if that employee's behaviors and actions are getting in the way of safety, leading to possible catastrophic injury, such as horseplaying around a machine operator, retaliating against an employee that participates in a safety hearing. Okay? How do I deal with that problem employee? Especially if I'm the safety manager and I am not the performance manager. How can I affect change by having a dialogue with that employee's manager? Okay? Together, we can learn a great deal about how to manage that problem employee. And again, all of these come with online tools. Now, finally, the employer's legal handbook. This is what I call my Bible, because I teach a lot of the employment laws, including OSHA. And every manager and every safety champion should understand all of those complex employment laws that could touch upon OSHA law. For example, what if an employee is injured on the job? And that employee must then report to HR, and that happens to become a workers' compensation situation. So that employee, that injury must be logged onto the OSHA log 300, but also that employee will be out on workers' compensation. Now, how about if that employee also qualifies for family medical leave? Okay? Again, important for you to understand so that you can have a successful discussion with HR and get the respect of that HR person towards safety. But also, many of these laws could be touched upon within your safety programs for managers. Okay? Again, 3 separate resources, but bundled together, a very powerful resource packet. And again, published by NOLO. Now, exclusively to Skill Path and National Seminars, you also get the DVD and the online resources. Highly recommended, and I also introduce these in our other employment laws that I facilitate, such as FMLA, ADA. And if you're saying, boy, I don't know what those stand for, please get these resources. Can't go wrong. That's your Bible. Now, beyond that, I have some additional resources that I'd be happy to walk you through. And what I'm going to do is, during the break, we'll have a 10-minute break, and I'm going to be at the table. Please come over, take a look, take a visit, browse through the materials. And in terms of pricing, as a workshop participant, okay, you have a significant discount, okay, in terms of these resources. So normally, if I bought these without being a workshop participant, it would be $399, okay, $399. Now, since you're at our workshop and we want to say thank you to each and every one of you, today's price is $199. And again, that price is only good within today's workshop. So be sure, and even if you're not quite sure, come on back to the resource table, take a look, and let's discuss that. Now, we also talked about Star 12, and I'll be giving you an actual demonstration of that online resource as well right after lunch today. But for now, let's take a look at the resources, and we'll see you back within, and I'm going to give a full 15-minute break, and I'll be at the table for 10 minutes. So let's reconvene at 11:45. Thank you very much. Have a great break, and I'll see you in the back of the room.